so today we are talking about body modification, and I want to talk.
That's a block the thing.
Talk about brain modification. So to set the stage for this, we're going to play a little true-false game about biohackers, aka grinders, and some of the things that they do to modify their bodies. Okay.
So wait, what did they do here? Please, just because I had this question and I want everyone else to know what that
is.
is.
It's just kind of the quintessential like body hacker photo. It's like the stock photo. It's like, I'm a biohacker, and you just have lights.
Can we talk about what biohackers are real quick?
Yeah, so that's just the light. They're like the NFTs of people. Like that's probably the best way I can describe it. They think they're a lot smarter than, a lot more useful than they actually are. That is literally a LED light under the skin, correct?
I think there's probably like an RFID chip in there too.
That's so awesome because it sucks how much I have to take the RFID chip out of my pocket. It's so incredibly inconvenient. That's so great if I could cut my hand open.
So I think the philosophy of body hacking, biohacking is just about pushing your body to the limits. Like probably the way they would talk about it is like an ultra marathoner. It's just like people who are doing insane things to their bodies just because they can.
Sure.
So let's go through some of the things that I found super interesting. So audience, please answer. True or false, biohacker creates a DIY vaccine for herpes and administers it live on stage?
True.
That was way more false than true.
True. So this is the actual pictures of this man doing it.
This guy is what happens if you leave a Joe Rogan fan out after midnight.
All right, next one. True or false, biohacker invents the Lovetron 9000, a vibrating device genital implant for intimacy enhancement, allowing on-demand vibrations. True.
Everybody here knew how stupid men could
Can you just read this last sentence right here?
Oh, this is going to make Dylan so uncomfortable.
The implant itself is installed effortlessly in less than 15 minutes and is ready for sensual play after a mere 2-week wait. That means, that is not an effortless installation if you need 2 weeks before you can touch it.
That's not a mere 2-week wait.
That's heinous.
And that picture over there is like, guess how big it is?
Oh my god, a quarter? That's too big. You don't do that.
Alright. True or false? Biohacker alters their skin cells to be able to photosynthesize to alleviate the need to eat.
That sounds like a lot of falses.
Yeah. People really, are you guys in the community?
Yeah, we got some grinders.
That's bullshit. That was fucking stupid.
Alright. Grinder, true or false? Biohacker recreates and applies untested eye drop formula for enhancing night vision.
True.
You spoiled it because you said untested. It was immediately obvious that this is a biohacker that did it.
Shove some shit in me that nobody's tested? Yes, they definitely did it.
Yes, true.
Oh no!
So there's the solution if you want to try this out yourself. There's also like links on the website where to buy all this stuff.
You should have blurred this. It's like unethical.
So apparently the drops are black. It's like a black solution, but it disappears over time. But it looks pretty cool.
Did it work?
Apparently it worked. But there's also like a disclaimer on it that's like, this stuff is harmful for humans. Don't try it. Alright, and one more. So the company Cyborg Nest created a chest implant that vibrates whenever you point north, giving people the superpower of cardinal direction localization.
That should have been the answer earlier.
True?
Wait.
False?
This seems more split than before, but
True. So on the left here is the actual device that they've implanted in people, and there's actually lots of testimonials about how it's changed their lives. What's really funny though is that on the right is a watch. It's from the same company that they did a watch instead of a device.
I'd really feel like a dope if I got it implanted and I saw somebody in the company walk by with a watch.
Yeah. So what I want to talk about is actually is this, because this is more about modifying your brain, not just this device. And so the question is like, is it actually possible for our brain to learn new senses? Can we do this? So to answer this question, I'm going to think about a different question. An audience, please answer this. Is what do you think happens to the parts of the brain involved in vision and hearing in blind and deaf people? Think congenitally blind people that are born blind and deaf. What do you think happens to those parts of the brain? Reprogrammed?
Reprogrammed? Is that?
Anybody else?
Yeah, like the neurology and other parts of the brain.
Okay.
Anything else? Any other ideas?
Anybody disagree, agree, anything?
It's just like
Totally
Jigga, right?
atrophies, and it's just a little hole in their head.
Thank
Nice. I like that one.
That doesn't happen.
You fool!
So what does happen is that it does get repurposed, per se, in that they've found that in people who are blind and deaf, is that in blind people, for example, the visual areas of the brain, now found to be recruited in things like braille reading, in auditory functions, and similarly in people who are deaf, the auditory cortex gets involved in vision, in feeling vibrations. And this happens so much so to the extent that they've done studies where you can apply electrical stimulation to impair the function in those areas. So in blind people, if you do that, they actually can't do braille reading anymore to that extent.
Cool. Wait, this is like a thing they did? Like they just tested it out, like, oh, now you can't do that ever again?
It's just temporary. It's not like, you know.
In a mere 2 weeks.
In a mere 2 weeks, you can do it again.
So for us to be able to learn new senses, right, we need this crucial function that our neurons can adapt in a way that it can respond to other kinds of senses, right? And so in the case that we see with blind and deaf people, that this does happen, this crucial function does happen. So there's one more thing that we would need to be able to learn new senses. And to do that, we're going to play a game called Dog, Cat, or Ella. So the way that this is going to work is that Alex is going to, we're going to show some images of dogs, cats, and Idris Elba on the screen, and Alex is going to try to guess them without actually seeing them.
Can you move that computer away so I can't look?
Oh, shit,
Yeah, I don't want to look at the monitor. I really care about good testing conditions. Okay, so,
Alright, so
explain this.
The way this is going to work is that we have some colors out in the audience, these three right here, and that correspond to a picture, right? So, Alex, you cannot see anything, right?
Okay, I can't see anything. I don't know what these colors mean. So I guess I'm just gonna have to figure it
Alright,
out.
so we're going to do a little test right now. Alright, so if you show the color for this one, who's got that one? Look inside your colors.
Okay. Wow. Dog.
Okay. And if it's this one, okay.
Idris Elba.
And then if you hold up
Don't
all
cheer.
all
Not
three,
supposed to
since
look.
they're all here.
Wait, say that one more time?
So they're all on the screen, you would all hold them up. Okay?
Great.
Okay.
Okay. Alright.
All right.
So for our first one.
Cat.
Okay, next one.
Dog.
Okay. Are we supposed to be giving? We should give him some feedback. Let's wait.
Dog. Is this Idris Elba with a dog?
Alright.
Dog? Still dog?
Good job. Okay?
Oh, we're supposed to tell
Cat?
the answer, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm allowed to learn. All right. Cat. Idris Elba.
No.
No?
Oh wait, yes. Yes, that
That was definitely
Dog. Cat and a dog?
Yeah.
Idris Elba. Dog?
Yes.
Okay.
I was just looking at great pictures.
All right. Cat. Okay, faster. Dog and cat. Cat. Dog. Idris Elba in cats.
Alright, the last one.
And just Idris Elba. Has he got his shirt off or something?
Very good.
Alright.
Alright, so Alex got all of those. So that was a very simple example of demonstrating the associative power that our brains have, right? Here, Alex was able to associate colors with identities, right? While this was a very simple explanation, you can do this in very complicated situations.
So wait, actually, I have a question. So just because from my understanding of the experiment it's just kind of like pattern recognition, right? Am I crazy? It's just like he's recognizing that the red means
Right.
cat.
So if Alex had done this enough, right, and without any feedback, he would get the sense, associating yellow with
cat.
And so this is a process that researchers refer to as sensory substitution, where people learn these really complex mappings between different senses, not so dissimilar to what's happening in blind and deaf people. So let me give you some examples of very complex situations where this happens. So this is a device, a sensory substitution device called the voice, where what it is, you can see
It's a substitution for a boring thing to do on a weekday night.
Wait, the show?
Yeah. Substitutes talking to your family.
Oh, good God.
So this device, you can actually go in and buy it. It's a couple $100. I was very tempted to buy it myself.
We had to talk him out of it.
But what it is, it's like a pair of glasses, and what it does has a camera on it. And so you can see here, it's taking pictures, and then converting those pictures, those digital pictures, into auditory information that then the blind person is hearing.
But is the audio? It's not like seeing a picture of a car and just saying car.
No, it is doing like boop, beep, beep, beep. I don't know exactly what it sounds like, but it's just some complex auditory information that they're getting, where it's decomposing all these different features of the visual image into audition. And so after a lot of practice, blind people can actually get the feeling of seeing. So there's all these videos online that you could watch where, there's a blind person wearing these glasses, looking at a table, and someone throws some like sticks out onto the table, and they can just go and reach for the sticks and just pick them up. So they can literally get the sense of seeing things. And another version of this is called the brain port. So similarly, it has a camera on it. It converts images, but now into actually tactile sensation, vibrations on the tongue. And very similar.
I'm sorry, can we not just skip over that?
Wait, the tongue one? Wait,
The
what?
tongue. That you're seeing through your tongue?
Yes.
And that's just like a thing we're not gonna stop and marvel.
So wait, what does this thing do? It like vibrates or something?
It just vibrates on each of those. Like you can see these little dots here.
Hey, you can put it on your dick. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah,
That's the Oh, good God.
Okay. Why this makes sense,
Yes.
why you can do this, is for the reason that, so one explanation I think is a really good explanation. There's a scientist, David Eagleman. The way that he talks about that is that think about the brain as just a bunch of neurons that are just stuck in darkness, right? All they listen to is electrical signals coming from other neurons. The only way that they can get an understanding of the outside world is through our sensors, right? Our eyes, our nose, our taste, smell, sight, hearing, right? And our brain is developed in a way that it actually doesn't matter what signals they're getting, they can make meaning out of those signals. So, like before, we can adapt enough that it can mix and match. It doesn't matter what signals we're getting, as long as we're getting signals, it's going to make meaning of it. And it does that because it's these really powerful association machines, right? We can just make meaning, make sense, because we can associate things that are actually happening out in the world with whatever it is. Wow. So I think in closing, right, I think what body hackers are trying to do is they're onto something, right? They're trying to really push the extremes of what is possible with our brains. This isn't a PSA for biology.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah,
we're
we're
not
so
saying like
do it.
Google
Don't
biohacks
do
don't
it.
make you lose brain cells. Like it's so. Also, this is a horrible design. Like this is so stupid. You can't have a pipe coming out of your fucking mouth and not expect to be teased relentlessly. But I can see again. No one cares. No, you look like what the fuck? All right.
And with that.
Yeah, I'll take it.